What's going on, everybody, and welcome to or welcome back to the channel. Today, I got an interesting video for you. So I'm going to play a clip here shortly, so hang around. But before I get into that, subscribe, help your boy out. I'm trying to build a nice combat sports community on my channel. So let's hop right into this thing. So I've made a couple videos that have done really well on here about Nate Diaz. So I guess people care about my opinion when it comes to Nate Diaz and the NDA Army. So I'm going to continue making videos off that. So I made a video where a lot of people agreed with me. So I hope you all see this video. That means you've probably subscribed. So basically, I'm here to kind of confirm what I said in one of those videos, which was Nate Diaz is trolling us. And the reason I said that was because that pad work, everyone was freaking out about this Brickhouse Boxing BS. Stuff never comes out of the Diaz camp unless they don't want it to come out of the Diaz camp, right? They don't just let people start recording unless it's that Esquivo Falcao or whatever who just sneaks videos and this and that, which he recently did. Someone in the comments told me about that, and I looked it up, and I shared the short on my channel here. So if you haven't seen it, I screen recorded what he had on his channel and gave him credit there. But he, that guy's something, man. That guy's kind of a punk and whatever. But what we saw from Nate in that sparring, Nate was tired. The other guy was tired. Nate looked good, man. He was tagging the guy and walking forward and just being smart and this and that. But anyway, in this video, I'm going to roll a clip for you that Nate posted on his Instagram recently here. And this is the pad work of him and his boxing coach, Richard Perez. And I told you, stop reading into that pad work that you saw at Brickhouse Boxing, because what you're about to see in this 19-second clip looks a hell of a lot different than what you saw in that Brickhouse clip. Take a look real quick. So you could see a little bit there, right? I know it's just pad work. It's quick little clips. You could see, man, this dude can flow on the mitts. You saw when he was circling off and he's firing off the 1-2. He's like, da, 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 da. And then he's in close. He's throwing the good short uppercuts. He, call it shoe shining. And the dude can box, man. I've been saying it this whole time. This is all you got to remember. Jake Paul and his team are a bunch of trolls, right? That's what they did to him at the press conference with Derek Better Media. You don't think Nate and team are trying to get some things rolling over on him? Jake Paul thinks he's going to walk through Nate Diaz, man. He actually commented. That's on Nate Diaz's Instagram. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. But Jake Paul then commented on Nate's post, basically saying, like, I'm going to, trying to basically turn it into a beef. And it's like, I get marketing and this and that. He basically said that I showed you the ropes for the, promotions or whatever. And he's like, and you've done nothing. You still are, in the palm of that bald man's hand, or referring to Dana White, something like that, basically saying that Nate can't promote crap without Dana White, pretty much, which I don't understand, because Jake Paul is kind of the marketing machine, right? We're about a month out from this fight. I would imagine promotion's going to start to really pick up here. You got to think UFC 290, International Fight Week, all these things are going on now. At the end of July, there's a big UFC pay-per-view, but man, this Jake Paul, Nate Diaz thing is starting to get real here. And this is a real fight, or a real boxing match. This is legit, man. They were on Pat McAfee the other day, Nate Diaz and Jake Paul. So if you haven't seen that interview, check it out. And Nate's hilarious on it. But Nate's in a good spot, man. You could tell he's taking this thing very serious. And there were people out there questioning if Nate was going to be taking this serious, which to me is insulting, because I've said before, the Diaz bros are two of they're maybe the only people that I don't think you can buy them to take a fall, or they would, you'd pay them and they'd show up for a fight and not take it serious. Nate Diaz is training hard as shit for this fight, man. If you've seen the interviews with Robert Garcia and team out in Cali, Nate's been in there sparring, boxing. Every interview you hear, they can't believe how well Nate is doing in there against, world-class boxers at that Robert Garcia gym. They got world champs in there now. A lot of people aren't hip to the boxing community, right? But there's a lot of really, really good boxers coming out of that gym, in Robert Garcia's gym, Mikey Garcia, the whole thing that they got going on there. These guys are world class, man. And Nate's in there training with these guys. And you can see in that sparring footage on Esquivo Falcao's channel that he kind of put out there that I'm sure he wasn't supposed to be recording, but he did. Nate was in there against an orthodox fighter that had a very similar build to Jake Paul, right? And again, it's just clips of sparring, but Nate tagged this dude with a good right hook, slap hook type of thing that he likes to throw. He was walking the guy down. He was using, he was moving his head out of the way. He was framing the arms, dude. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, it's just. I told you he was trolling, man. It's a troll job. 150% was. And then Jake Paul tried to get in Nate's head, being like, "Oh, the guy you prepared for, that's a different guy, this and that." And Nate just shrugged it off. He's like, "Yeah, that's what they say." And everyone started laughing. And it's like Nate is taking this very serious. He's absolutely taking this seriously. There's a lot on the line here for Nate Diaz, man. People keep saying a payday and this and that. You got to look beyond that. Nate Diaz is fighting for the opportunity to control his own destiny after this boxing match. He gets a giant win against Jake Paul. He's got so many options open for this guy because he came off the win against Ferguson, leaving the UFC, left on his terms. Then he goes to the boxing world and beats Jake Paul. Dude, like people will be like, "Oh, well, it was a YouTuber and blah, blah." It doesn't matter. Jake Paul has labeled himself as a boxer. He takes it very serious. It's the fact that Nate would be coming off a huge win, made a bunch of money, got his promotion really kind of rolling, co-promoted an event. He could go back to the UFC. He can fight Conor McGregor. He can fight for the BMF belt, whatever. Fight whatever Nate Diaz wants. If Nate wins this boxing match, Nate Diaz can take any fight and fight whoever, whenever, what organization, wherever. He will call the entire shot of what he does next. This is a big bout, man. This is a big boxing match. I'm excited. What do you all think, man? I told you, I made these videos. I said that, he was trolling, and this kind of just proves my points. Look at the pad work, man. It's just the guy can box, dude. The guy can box. I keep trying to tell people that you can't just walk into an MMA fight and try to be a professional boxer. You can in some aspects, but you see it from time to time. Guys are dipping their heads, they're moving around, and that's great. But when you go in there against Jorge Masvidal, you go in there against Leon Edwards, you're fighting guys like that are lethal kickers that I've brought this up before, and I've mentioned this before. You can't just dip your head all over the place, man. You can't do that. And Nate, he can box. It's awkward. He throws good long straight shots. He's good at once he gets you up against the ropes, the cage, he can dirty box in the clinch really well. You see it in that some of the sparring videos that are out there. I think with Regis that's out there, you can see that. That's a world-class boxer, and you've heard Andre Ward say nice things about him. It's just the bottom line is that sparring footage that, the pad work that you got to see a long time ago against Brickhouse Boxing or at the Brickhouse Boxing gym. Don't read into that. Take a look at this promo that they're putting out. Take a look at what you've seen from him before, right? Don't go off of pad work clips. He could have just did a whole triathlon and his coach was like, "Hey, I'm nearby. You want to meet at the gym?" And Nate's like, "I want to get some pad work in while I'm dog tired." Who knows? Who knows? What do you all think? Like, subscribe. More content is going to be coming out on my channel as we get closer to this Paul Diaz fight, which I guess we are close. We're about a month away. More stuff's going to start to, come out on my channel here. I'm going to go more in depth with the predictions, some things to look out for, what to expect. And then once the full card's announced, I'm going to do a full card breakdown. I'll probably do that live, actually. I'll go live and do that and talk about the card. And because I'm going to be able to provide content here that other people are not going to be able to provide out there in the YouTube community. I've said before, I keep it real on my channel. I'm a true fight fan. It's different on my channel, and you'll see that. So when I go live, I'm going to be able to break down this boxing card because I know the NDA guys from Nate's gym that are training and are on this fight card some guys that Jake Paul is promoting through his MVP promotions. I'm a student of this, man. So subscribe to my channel. When I go live, I'll break down the full card, tell you everything that you need to know from top to bottom on that card, some of these boxing matches that are on there, what to look out for. So I appreciate you all. I hope this video shed some light on some of the things I was discussing before about Nate is trolling us. So appreciate you all. See you in the next one.